ladies and gentlemen, I am EddCase. Welcome to Base Race, my episode 0. We're going to be going over the suave and classy details for this month. So first off, as always, we are in a base. Whose base are we in? We are in Colorworld's base. Face Temple was empowered by Colorworlds in Base Race March so long ago, 2018. And there is Colorworld's channel, so you can go and click that and visit the channel. And you should, because he makes builds pretty much every month. And this is the very first one that he's actually won the random draw. So, yeah, you should go and have a look. Anyway, so let's dive on into... Oh, first off, we're in 112. We're back in 112 again. This is not a 113, this is 112. Yes, I don't know when we're going to be moving up to 113, because it's not only... Like, I'm definitely going to be waiting for the actual release of 113 before we move up there. But also, I'm going to need some tools like MC Edit and stuff like that before I can go up there. So yeah, this is 112. Anyway, onto the item list. So, let's see. Some overgroundy things. We've got dark oak and spruce. We've got some birch leaves over here. We've got some sheep shearing to do and stuff like that. Sugarcane. But, yeah. It's all right on the overgroundy stuff. We've also got some undergroundy stuff. Lots of redstone. We've got the block of redstone there, but then also 12 redstone lamps and 16 note blocks. That's what they're called. So yeah, got some redstone-y things to do. But then, oh yes, we've got the big hard one. The big hard one is this one, the emerald block. So 9 emeralds, obviously, 2 ways of getting those. Either you've got to trade with villagers, or you've got to go to a, tall mountainous region. There you go. Also, pumpkin. Gonna need a pumpkin pie, because what's more suave and classy than a pumpkin pie? So yes, that's some of the overgroundy stuff that you've still got to do. And finally, of course, we have the nether. So I've already mentioned that we've got the redstone lamps here, so gonna need some glowstone for that. Also going to need some quartz and red nether brick. I like putting red nether brick rather than nether brick, but then it's got the asterisk next to it. So it means that in the build stage, you can use either nether brick or red nether brick. But for the collection, you need red nether brick. And I like doing that because they changed things at one point. So you can actually make nether brick from netherrack, which means you didn't have to go and find a nether fortress anymore. And I want you to go and find a nether fortress. So there you go. Go find a nether fortress for me. You have been tasked. Go do it. All right. I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about the list there. Sure. You'll work it all out. Anyway, if we go, what is it? Scoreboard, teams, leave. Hello. Right. Let's not look at that. Okay. So, down in this area, the choices box. So, as always, which parts of Base Race are you playing? Whole thing, or just the race stage? Or you want to just do the build? I don't think we've already had anyone just wanting to do the build, but the option is right there. If you just want to do the build, that's fine. Anyway, as always, do not harvest materials from the spawn base, and do not break the bed or create a new one. Those are just the standard generic Base Race rules. Which items would you prefer to collect/build with? So, we've got the sandstone and magma, or the bricks block and observer. So, the first one, sandstone or bricks block. So, those are the kind of the building blocks kind of thing, because sandstone and bricks block both have slabs and stair counterparts, which will be useful for building with. So, you got that, and you've got magma, or observer blocks. Let's go have a look. Magma or the observer block. And the observer block is nice because it's got a face on the front of it. Definitely looks like a robot, but it's also got all these interesting textures on the different sides. A different texture on every side, pretty much. So yeah, it's a nice block to use in various places. And I think it actually is a different texture on every side, isn't it? No, not quite. The top and the bottom are the same, I think. So yeah, that can be useful. But also you got the magma, and magma is a very interesting block because it lights up different amounts depending on what light source it's touching. But also it can give a nice kind of like embers kind of feel. So if you're doing like a fireplace or something like that, But yeah, very, very nice block. But obviously, both of those things, you need to get in the nether. So more nether stuff to do. Right, on to the thing that's behind me. Let's go have a look. Okay, my most classy asset is my charm, martini, or Rolex. Not the first time we've had Rolex, but last time it was a vintage Rolex, and it was on the opposite side. Well, it was over there, that thing over there. But yes, this is going to be a plus this time. But we'll get onto that in a minute. Now, I'm sure there are some things that I want to say about these, so I'm going to right now. Charm. Yes, this is a good one to choose. To make kind of fighting mobs a little bit easier, I guess. Yep. Martini got some good all-round benefits, but might not be entirely beneficial, but also has some very good benefits. So kind of balances out. I always try to make them balanced. That is my aim, like without having any kind of beta testers or anything, which would make base race perfect if I had beta testers, but there just isn't time to do that kind of thing. I always try to make everything in the pluses all balanced with each other and everything in the minuses all balanced. That is my aim with everything. So no matter what you choose, you're still going to have kind of the same level of difficulty as any of the other choices. That's the idea anyway. But yes, so martini plus and minuses, but should be balanced. And Rolex. This has a little more utility, but is definitely useful in a fight too. So yes, there you go. Some little hints about what those are. Now let's move on to option 4 and find what are the minuses for this month. But trying to ruin it all, there are belchers, soiled trousers, or the worst of all, loud children. So trying to ruin the whole suave and classy thing we've got going on here, we have the least classy of all, belchers, soiled trousers, and loud children. Anything I want to say about these? Again, I tried to make them all balanced. They're unpleasant, as you would imagine they would be. But I think all fun as well. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to say anything particularly. I will say, if you're averse to rude noises, then don't click on that one, obviously. But other than that, I think all the other ones should be fine. So yeah, there you go. Option 4, belchers, soiled trousers, or loud children. Okay, now let's have a look at this stuff over here. Right, so as always, welcome to Base Race. Welcome to Base Race. Resource pack, yes, okay. Something I should tell you right now about this and about the thing behind me, the Patreon reward, is I'm doing things a little bit differently this month. So it's kind of similar to last month, how I did the Patreon reward. Instead of having a Patreon password, instead, I'm just saying that if you're a patron, then download the world from the Patreon page. So anyone else, just download the world as usual from the video or from the forum, just however you would normally download it. If you're a patron, then just make sure that you download the world from the Patreon page. And I will, if applicable, and it is this month, if there is a resource pack that specifically goes with a Patreon reward, then you can also download the resource pack, the special resource pack, from the Patreon post page. All right, let's go find out what the Patreon reward is. Looking fancy. Looking fancy. So yes, now, if you click on it, I was thinking whether I should actually click on this and just kind of show you, but I'm actually just going to tell you. If you click on it, then instead of it, giving you the book and saying where to get the Patreon password, because there is no password, it actually tells you what the thing does, kind of like the other, the plus and minus choices. And so it tells you what looking fancy is about. And it also gives you a link to the Patreon posts page and tells you that you can, make sure you've gone there and downloaded. So it's a reminder of what basically I've just said. It's a reminder that you need to, if you're a patron, go to the Patreon posts page and download the world make sure you've downloaded the world and you're playing that one. And if applicable, the resource pack. As always, the resource pack is zipped with the world. So, like, as most of you know, the resource pack instantly loads itself. You don't need to apply the resource pack yourself because it's part of the world. So as soon as you open the world up, it just applies it. However, if you're playing on a server, like a multiplayer server, that is when you need to put in the resource pack yourself. And that is why I also give the download link to the resource pack separately. Anyway, looking fancy. Yep, definitely. It's an aesthetic thing that's nice, I think. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy that. Hope you do. All right, before I go, there's one other thing. The good thing about last month, that's actually... I think I can click this and it'll just take me... Sure. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Back up here again. Over here we have the Patreon cap. So if you're a patron and you've downloaded the right version of the world, then when you click this, you'll be given a Patreon cap. So you'll be able to use that and, you know, it'll work as normal. If you're not a patron, then you can click it and it won't do anything. So no need to worry about that. Also, depending on the choices, the plus choices, you will also get another one of these blocks appear right here. So say you picked the Rolex, for example, then there'll be a little block here saying click here to summon the Rolex. So if you lose a Rolex, then you can just click here and get another one. So yeah, I think that's everything you really need to know. I've added 2 beds in as I've started doing that recently, mainly because I know that MP players and Jungle All the Way always play it multiplayer with the 2 of them. So, you know, nice for them to have 2 beds. But if anyone decides to play it multiplayer, they'll have the 2 beds there, and if there are more people playing, just add more beds in at the beginning. That's all you have to do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it. Yeah, suave and classy. Right, see you on the other side.